So, we're talking about water cycle, right? Water. So.
Water cycle.
A water cycle. So, a water cycle is a circle.
A circle.
It's a big circle, right?
Big circle, right?
Okay, so circle. We're gonna do a big circle. So we're gonna go.
So I'm gonna go.
Water. That's what we know as water, right?
So it's water.
And it's gonna go up.
Up.
And then over. And then back down. And into the water again. So we're gonna do one big circle, right? Circle. 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 So that's why it's called a cycle. It's gonna go in a big circle, okay? So you've seen this too, right? So we're gonna go over condensation, evaporation, and precipitation. Okay? Those are the ones that you're gonna want to remember. I'll keep this here so you can see it if you want to, okay?
Yep. Yep.
So there are different states of matter that we have kind of gone over, but not a lot. So we have solids. Solids are hard, right? Solids. Liquid, like water, that's liquid. Gas is like the air, okay? And water can be in all three of them. Okay. What is this? What is it? This is
ice cube.
Ice. Is it hard? Okay, so is it a solid, a liquid, or gas?
Solid.
Good job. This water?
This water.
Solid, liquid, or gas?
Liquid.
Liquid. Okay. What about all this little fog that you can kind of see in here?
Gas.
Good job. You got all three of them, okay? So we're going to kind of redo these experiments that we did before, but we're going to be applying it to here, okay? So you know, you've seen lakes.
Lakes.
And rivers. You got water on the ground, right? Okay, so the sun heats it up. It gets hot. And it starts to kind of spread out. When you get hot, you're gonna, you want to stretch out. And when you get cold, you kind of want to go like this. You go, cold. So you squeeze up together. So when you're hot, that's what the water does. It expands. It gets bigger, right? So the sun heats up the water, okay? And when it heats up the water, it starts going up into like this little fog. See the little fog? A little bit of a cloud in here started, right? If you look, can you see? There's like little teeny tiny particles kind of floating around in the air.
Cold water.
Oh, you want it to be cold? Are you afraid of it being hot? I'll keep it over here then. You like the cold water, huh? Cold water? Okay. So you got the cold water. But, so when it's cold, the sun will heat it up and it starts to spread out and it starts to make these clouds, right? So, and then they go up and these little tiny particles, they start gathering together and they make a little cloud, kind of like what's happening over here a little bit. You can see a little bit, right? And then when they get really tightly packed in, the cloud goes really dark. Sometimes it looks gray. And that means that there's lots of water in there and it's getting heavy and it's going to drop the water on us. What's it called when the water drops on us? Is that rain? It rains on us. So when it goes from this water,
This water.
it's regular water.
This regular water.
This is called evaporation.
Evaporation.
Okay. I'm going to write it down. Our markers are kind of dying though. Oh crap. Can't really see it. Okay. That way you can't see if I spell it wrong. Evaporation. Okay. So that's when it's starting to warm up and it goes up into the clouds. When it gets over here and it's starting to pack in more and more, this is called condensation. Okay. This right here, is it wet or dry on the outside?
Dry.
Is it dry? Touch it.
Touch it.
Is that wet or dry?
Dry. Wet.
Yeah, it's wet. Yeah, see, you're wiping it off on your hand. It's wet. So that's called condensation too. Because it's cold in here, and all the water gathers on the outside, and you can see it's wet, and it's coming off, right? So that's condensation. Okay, and then when it comes down, that is precipitation. I can't see it at all. Precipitation. Okay, so evaporation,
Evaporation.
condensation,
Condensation.
precipitation.
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 Good job. Yep, that means it's going to rain. So, So, and then when it rains, sometimes it'll go into like lakes and rivers. And then it comes back down into the ocean still too, right? And then it starts all over again, and it starts getting evaporated again. Starts evaporating again. Evaporating again.
Evaporating again.
Condensation again.
Condensation again.
Precipitation again. It rains back down, comes down to the water, and then it goes back up. So the water heats up, goes up into the clouds, gets more dense, falls down, slides into the ocean. Okay? Just like these. Okay? So we're going to have you make some. Okay? You ready? We're going to make some clouds. You remember this one, right? This one is just to remind you of the pressure that it takes. Pump it up. Okay, pump it up. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's shake it up. Okay, ready? Oh, kind of worked. Didn't work as much, but you can see the cloud in there, right?
More now?
What, you want more?
Want more?
Here, then we'll pump it up.
Try it again.
Let's try 4 pumps. You want to do 4 pumps? Okay,
Try it again.
Okay, do 4 pumps, and I'll be pumping this. 3, 4. Okay, ready? Woohoo! That was better. Look at that. Can you see it?
See that?
Your little cloud, right? It's made of lots of
right?
little tiny, tiny, tiny particles. See? Is that pretty cool? So remember, it's the pressure and the liquid, and it expands. That's how the cloud is made, right? So now we're going to do this one over here, okay, with the hot water, and this is going to be our cycle here, okay? So we're making this cycle. You have this one over here. Okay. Oh, and we need particles in the air. So
Solids and gas.
solids, liquids, and gases, huh? So there's that. Okay. Now should start forming a little bit of a cloud. It might take a little bit because this warmer's not very hot. So you can kind of see a little bit coming in here, right? So this is going to start forming a little bit here because you got the cold on top, hot on the bottom, starting to heat up, and it's coming up into the air, right? You remember doing this before? You remember this?
Remember this?
Yep. So this is going to come up, and it's starting to get darker now. You can see the cloud forming. See? Is it getting a little bit thicker? Look, look. Are you seeing the cloud forming? It's getting a little bit thicker, a little bit harder to see through, right? Okay. So this is like the ocean right here. The sun is warming it up, but we're using a little heater, but that's kind of like the sun. It warms it up. So it goes up into the air. And then when it gets cold up in the air, you have a cloud. And then this cloud is over here, up here, right? What's underneath? Look at that. Can you see it? Whoop. There it goes. See? You can see your cloud starting now. And it comes over here. The clouds move. And they dump. The water. Okay. And it comes back down here onto the ground again. Comes back and it goes back into the rivers and the lakes and the oceans. Right? And then it starts over again. Right? Heats up. Comes back up. And then it comes back over again, right? There's your cycle, okay? So, ice is solid, liquid, or gas?
Solid and gas.
Solid? Yep, this is the solid.
Solid?
And water, like this,
Gas.
is?
Liquid?
Yeah, liquid, yep. And then the air is gas, like this right here. How you can kind of see it coming out. That's your gas. Kind of floats around. That's air. It's all around us. Made of little tiny particles. Okay? Is that good science?
Is that a good science?
Okay. Should we go over this one real quick? Right here. First, when the water turns into gas,
Turns and gas.
it is evaporation.
Evaporation.
Okay. It gets dense. It is condensation.
Condensation.
When it rains, precipitation.
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 Okay. So water to gas is
Evaporation.
evaporation. Evaporation.
Evaporation.
Evaporation. Then condensation.
Condensation.
And this is condensation too, remember? See? And then precipitation.
Precipitation.
Precipitation, yep.
Precipitation.
Okay. Is that it? Good water cycle? I think we got the basics. Good job, bro.